If you're looking to buy a new home this summer, make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck. No one wants to waste their money, and home buyers are definitely no exception. Real estate expert Colleen Lyle is here today, and she has the things you need to look for and what to look past when house hunting. And there's all the information if you want to give us a call, 789-6559, extension 2803, or send us an email, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. You can also message us on Facebook. Colleen, good morning.
Good morning.
So we're kind of going back to the basics here.
Yes.
For what you need to know if you're looking we're going to talk about buy or sell, and we're going to start with the seller. So let's start with your tips for, are we seeing a little fail there? Okay.
There we go.
We're going to see if we can get this back up. I don't know if that's going to work.
Yes.
Okay, sort of. Maybe one of our tech guys can work on that. But anyhow, let's get started here with tips for the seller. So essentially, there's some things that as a seller you want to keep in mind, even with a really strong market. That doesn't mean you can let the rules fly out the window, right?
Exactly. You know, for all the listeners out there, everybody's hearing how strong the market is right now. And it absolutely is. It's very much a seller's market. Yet the fact is that just because it is a very strong market to sell your home, you can't skip the basic steps, because at the end of the day, whether we're in a seller's market or a buyer's market or balance, you can't skip these tips, because at the end of the day, they will amount to more money in your pocket.
Okay, let's try this again. I think we got the guys working there just over my shoulder. So let's start with the first one, that being curb appeal. That's very important.
The first impression is the best impression, right? And in all honesty, most people have decided that they will consider the home strongly within the first 30 seconds of driving up to the home.
Wow.
So the fact is that the home needs to have, in this particular, the gardening needs to be done. The lawn needs to be trimmed. The toys need to be removed. The whole front appearance and the yard, the curb appeal will sell the home. So fresh cut flowers, you know, the whole, even a really nicely painted fresh door, the door people forget about all the time. And a freshly painted door will make all the difference in the world.
You say within seconds. Can this be the difference between somebody calling the phone number that they see on the realtor's,
very much so,
sign there in the front, or, taking the time to stop in and go to that open house versus moving on?
We get a lot of people who are driving just by and going, oh, I saw this beautiful house. Colleen, and sorry, it's already gone, right?
Wow.
So we really need to make sure that that wow factor is there to get people in the door, interested in your home, and putting an offer on the home that you want to sell.
Yeah, that's like the first step. And then, of course, staging, what you do on the inside matters.
Exactly. And again, you can't skip steps in this market. You can't. So, I was out with an out-of-town client all this weekend, and we looked at 11 homes in total. And they really, even the buyers that I was with, was the fact that they could tell who was staged and who was not. And, work with those realtors who are willing to pay for the staging and get the staging done. Declutter, fresh paint, and really have, fresh flowers and stuff. There are so many different points that we've talked about in previous shows about staging. But it really, it might take you 2 or 3 days. That extra effort, again, will result in not only an offer, but maybe even multiple offers.
Now, just because it's a seller's market doesn't mean you can jack up the price for your house, can you?
No, we're seeing that, and this is a message that we were talking about extensively, and I talk about it with my sellers all the time. Simply because the demand is there does not mean that you can ask for more money. And what we're finding is the fact that whether you feel that your home is worth $500,000 or not, the fact is better to price strongly, price well, and possibly then let the market dictate where you're going to go rather than price high. Because the worst thing that you can do in this market and in any market is the fact that you price really high and then have to drop your price.
That's a red flag then of some kind?
Not only that, but what we're finding is that if you ever have to drop your price, it's not only a red flag, but the fact is that you probably have to drop your price below what you could have gotten if you priced strongly.
Oh, so pricing it at the right price, you could end up seeing a bidding war, multiple offers, and then you might end up getting even more than you thought.
Absolutely. My sellers currently right now are averaging anywhere from 5 to 11 offers on their property.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have that marketing plan in place, we're looking at getting anywhere from anywhere from 15 to 30,000 over asking.
Wow,
so
that's
pricing
fantastic.
effectively is crucial in this market.
Okay, so some really great advice there for the seller. Up next, we're going to talk about the buyer. So stick around, and if you have any questions for Colleen, give us a call, 789-6559, extension 2803, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca if you prefer email, or message us on Facebook. We're back after this. It's our Ask the Expert segment today. Send us questions you have for Colleen, Lyle Real Estate. Colleen is here. She's taking your questions live on the air at 789-6559, extension 2803. Whether you're a buyer, a seller, a realtor, you have questions, you're just not sure, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca, or find us on Facebook and send us a message. Okay, we started off talking about some of your key points for the buyer.
Yes.
The seller. We're going to get to the buyer shortly, but first let's talk about inside realtor tips that you can offer, and one of the big ones is the inspections.
Yeah, so we were talking about in our earlier segment that this market's moving very, very fast. So what can you do as a buyer to make your offer a little stronger? And so it might be simply paying forward that extra, on average they're about $500, and doing an inspection before you actually put in an offer. That way, number one, you know exactly what you're buying into and you can manage your expectations. But also then that when you put in your offer, then you can remove that clause and make your offer, that particular offer, stand out above maybe some of the others.
Yeah, seems to make it automatically stronger.
Yes.
And in this climate that we're in, where offers are coming in and they're coming in fast and there's multiple, I mean, I would imagine you have to do everything you possibly can to make yours the most desirable one.
So, and absolutely. And so how do you do that? Because it is a market that is leaning towards sellers. So doing your homework, doing your previous inspection, having your financing set in order. Because when we're on the opposite side of the table and I'm presenting offers, it depends on the mindset of the seller. So putting ourselves in the seller, some of the sellers are looking at the bottom line and what that dollar figure is on page 1 of that agreement. But some of the other sellers are just like, what kind of closing are we looking at? Because sometimes it's just all about when we can move into our next house or vice versa. So really consider your closing as to when you want to purchase the home. And lastly, make sure you're financing, again, that the financing is end all and be all. Because even in this market, we're seeing offers fall apart because people don't know their final bottom line, and we don't need to push that past what they can afford.
I would imagine when it is this fast-paced and there's multiple offers, you have to have a good, clear mind going into it. Knowing what you want, if you're on the end of being the buyer, that you can't go in and just say, let's just kind of, sort of start looking for homes. We're not sure if we want a garage. Well, maybe we want to be here 5 years, but maybe we'd stay here forever. That's going to get you caught, isn't it? You're going to get stuck in a rut, and you're not going to be able to make that offer fast enough.
Yeah, and I think it's coming up with a plan. It really is. When we sit down with our buyers, some buyers, I really want to put one message out to the buyers, and that's the fact that create that plan. Sit down before you even start shopping for homes. What does my life look like in 5 years?
Right.
Are we having kids? Are we getting rid of the kids?
Yeah.
Are we getting 2 dogs, 5 dogs, a cat? What does my house look like?
What are the needs?
What are the needs, as well as your commute? What is, because some people are getting very frustrated with the lovely traffic that we have here in Ottawa. So is that going to frustrate you where you place yourself? So look at what that mindset is, because we don't want you just to buy a home. Your realtor should help you, guide you into a smart home, because at the end of the day, you really shouldn't be moving more than 3 to 5 years every time that you're moving.
Okay.
So creating that plan so that you know that the next home might even be your forever home.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that, because that's a very important element to it. If you are the buyer, the things you absolutely must do and the things that you don't have to worry about quite so much. That's next. If you have any questions for Colleen, give us a call, 789-6559, extension 2803. If you're a little shy, you can pass the message along to our producer and I'll ask it on your behalf. You can send us an email as well, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca, or message us on Facebook. And Colleen Lyle is here for Colleen Lyle Real Estate, and if you'd like to get a hold of her, there's the address, 2148 Carling Avenue, phone 613-829-1818, or check out ColleenLyle.com. And so we talked about the must-dos for the seller. We talked about some inside tips from you as a realtor. Let's talk now a little bit more about the tips for the buyer, because there's a lot of buyers out there, not a lot of inventory.
No.
Everybody wants a new home. So let's get to some of them here. And the first one, don't be overwhelmed. Easier said than done, I would imagine.
Easier said than done. And this market, I have to say, is not for everybody. It is moving fast. It's moving strong. But with the guidance of a really good realtor, take a breather, create a plan as we talked about, and just don't get overwhelmed.
When you say it's not for everybody, is that because you have to be ready when you go in to say, this is the house, I'm feeling it, I want this house, put in an offer right away? Because if you don't, someone else will.
It is, and also be ready to lose a couple before you maybe get the final one.
Okay.
It is that strong right now, and so again, creating that plan, but also understand that you will have to make decisions in a fast-moving market. And for some, if they want to go home and think about it for 2 days, that home's probably already gone.
Wow, and not the way it used to be.
No.
Okay, and so also create a plan. We talked about this a little bit. This is important.
This is important because as I mentioned to you, a smart buyer is not selling their home every 2-3 years. We want you in there for about 5 to 10 or even longer. And so make sure that the home is a right fit for you. Don't get caught up in the fancy chandelier that's in the dining room. Make sure that the travel time in your work is good.
Yep.
In addition to the fact, what does your life look like in 5 years? Because let's say you want to have children, then a mudroom might be important.
Yeah.
Or if you're planning on bringing aging parents in, is there a spot for them that makes sense to them? So many things to think about. So create that plan with your realtor and have that sit-down meeting.
Those are all the things that you kind of make that list, right? The deal breakers. I know when we went house shopping, it was the must-haves that we will not give in on, and the stuff that we know we could kind of maybe love if it works in, but if it doesn't, if it's not there, we're okay with it. So focus on location and floor plan. This
is something that when I'm out house shopping with my buyers and any member on my team, I do not want you to get caught up in some of the cosmetics. You can't move a house and you can't change the floor plan. So please focus on those things. The rest are cosmetics. The fact is that a roof, yes, sometimes a roof is one of those things that's always painful to do, but in the fact that a roof may cost you only $5,000 to $7,000, but if you find the perfect home in the perfect location, heck, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
In addition to the fact that, okay, you can always change paint. Even kitchens, right now we are doing kitchen renovations and helping our clients through those. And the fact is that you can get a really nice kitchen for under $5,000.
Yeah.
So again, I really want the buyers out there, don't get overwhelmed, but please focus on the fact that the location cannot be changed, and the floor plan that works for you is the focus that it should be on.
Great advice. Colleen Lyle, thank you so much. Colleen Lyle Real Estate, give her a call. There's the information. Check them out online. You can get all your advice from her, and she'll help you find that home or sell yours.